A few months ago, I ranked the future of every WNBA team, and this is exactly why I had Connecticut at the very bottom of that list. Just in this offseason alone, a lot has changed. Their head coach, Stephanie White, left to take a job with Indiana, even though she led the team to the semifinals last season. Alyssa Thomas is gone, now in Phoenix. Bree Jones, DeWanna Bonner, and DJ Carrington have also left. No other playoff team has lost this many important players in one offseason, and now there's more drama. Marina Mabrey has asked for a trade. This is the third team she's asked to leave. First Dallas, then Chicago, and now Connecticut after just half a season. On February 18th, Connecticut's president, Jen Rosati, spoke publicly about the situation, which was surprising. Talking so openly about this kind of stuff is rare. She spoke to Eric Jackson from Sportico, and there was also an ESPN article with quotes from Marina's agent and Rosati. Let's start with one quote from Jen Rosati. "I have been disappointed in how agents and GMs have acted and made threats. To Morgan Tuck, our new GM," she said. "Through it all, Morgan has stayed fair, calm, and professional, more than I could be if I were in her shoes. Now, I'm not inside Connecticut's organization, but from the outside it looks like they've lost all control. Other teams seem to know this and are probably giving them low offers, knowing Connecticut has no power in trades. They don't have their own training facilities, they're not a popular spot for free agents, and they don't have their own draft picks next year. Honestly, they are in the worst position of any WNBA team, which is exactly why I ranked them last in terms of future potential." Now for another quote. "We knew she had already forced her way off 2 teams, so it was risky to trade for her. But we thought it was worth it," Rosati said. "After reading that, my first thought was this whole process is frustrating. It feels like Connecticut is trying to prove a point by keeping Marina Mabrey. The first 2 teams let her go. Dallas traded her to Chicago. Chicago traded her to Connecticut. But now Connecticut is refusing. They're basically saying, and you're staying here and playing for us. But what's their plan? What are they hoping to get out of this? Even if you could only get a first-round pick, or maybe not even that, wouldn't it be better than keeping someone who doesn't want to be there? Maybe teams don't want to trade much for her because she's asked out of so many teams and might have chemistry issues, but even then, why not get something? Yes, technically, they could core her next season, but will they really get more value then when every team is chasing free agents? I believe Connecticut could find better players than Marina Mabrey in the market next offseason. That's why I don't understand this situation at all. Out of all the times she's asked for a trade, this one actually makes the most sense. She's not on the team she was originally traded to. The head coach is different, the roster is different, everything has changed. In that sense, it's fair for her to want to leave. She's only on a 1-year contract, so why not trade her now and get some draft picks in return? This team isn't going to make the playoffs this year. They keep saying they want to stay competitive while also building for the future, but those 2 goals usually don't work well together. Teams either fully rebuild and try to get a star in the draft, or they go all in, trying to win now. You need superstar players to win a title, and that 2-track strategy rarely succeeds. Now let's talk about an article by Alexa Filippo on ESPN, which came out after Jen Rosati's comments. In this one, Marina Mabrey's agent, Marcus Crenshaw, strongly responded to the team's decisions. He said, "In this time where people are pushing for women's empowerment and supporting players, the Connecticut Sun are threatening to force Marina to stay after she requested a trade. It's mind-boggling." He added, "Why would anyone want a player who doesn't want to be there? It just doesn't make sense. Everyone we've talked to is confused about how Connecticut is handling this. The coach left, star players left, and now they're trying to force Marina to stay when she clearly doesn't want to be there." The article also included quotes from Morgan Tuck, the team's new general manager. She said their goal is to stay competitive now, while also preparing for future seasons, so they don't have as much roster turnover later. Jen Rosati added that they chose not to trade Mabrey because they gave up a lot to get her, and still believe she has high value. Honestly, I think this is a bad way to run things. If you're a GM or team president, you should be able to admit when a decision didn't work out. Just take whatever value you can get now, cut your losses, and move forward. This entire Marina Mabrey situation has been confusing. And it doesn't stop there. I also don't understand why Connecticut turned down an offer from New York for Natasha Cloud. According to reporter Madeline Kenny, New York offered Connecticut the 7th overall pick in the 2025 draft and another, future first-round pick in exchange for Cloud, who came to Connecticut in the Alyssa Thomas trade. And they said no? That makes no sense. If someone told me they traded Natasha Cloud for a top 10 pick, I'd be thrilled for Connecticut. And they would have also gotten another future first-rounder. That's a great deal, especially for a one-year rental player who likely won't stay long-term. Cloud is a good defender and a solid point guard, but she's not an all-star. I don't get why they'd reject that. They complain that other teams are pressuring them, yet they're turning down amazing trade offers. I don't see how this helps them in the long run. There are players on this team who are more important for the long-term future, which is why I don't understand Connecticut's current approach. Yesterday, I tweeted about this and said, keeping 2 players on one-year contracts, who could bring back some valuable draft picks just to try to win 15 games at best is poor management. The team should be focused on developing players like Leah Leonce, their first-round pick from last year who will be a rookie in 2025, J.C. Sheldon, who they got in the DJ Carrington trade, and whoever they pick at number 8 in this year's draft. If I were in the front office, the clear goal would be a 2-year tank to get the best odds at the number 1 pick in the 2027 draft. Players like Juju Watkins, Madison Booker, Hannah Hidalgo, Michaela Williams, or even Malaysia Fulwiley if she figures things out. Those are the kinds of superstar players you need to build around. Some might say, well, Connecticut doesn't own their 2025 pick, but that's not the point. The WNBA lottery odds are based on a team's record from the past 2 seasons, so losing in 2025 still helps your 2027 lottery chances. Personally, I'd try to lose as many games as possible. Some argue that their new head coach, who's never led a WNBA team before, might only get 1 chance, so they want to set him up to win now. But is that really setting him up for success? Keeping Marina Mabrey, who clearly doesn't want to be there, just creates more drama. We've already seen her agent and the team president publicly argue. Is that the kind of player you want around when you're trying to develop young talent and support a new coach who's trying to adjust to the W? It raises the bigger question, what is Connecticut trying to do long-term? Do they just want to stay average, or are they actually trying to win a championship? Because if the goal is a title, their decisions don't match that plan. If you look at their current depth chart, it's not very impressive. The starting lineup would probably be Natasha Cloud at point guard, Marina Mabrey at shooting guard, Diamond DeShields at small forward, and maybe Anna Maria Phillip at power forward, assuming they draft her at number 8, which I think they will. Just a gut feeling. Then Tina Charles would start at center. The bench would include players like Lindsay Allen, Yvonne Anderson, J.C. Sheldon, Leah Leonce, and Olivia Nelson-Ododa. Now ask yourself, how many games does this team win with that lineup? Let me know in the comments, but for me, their playoff chances are below 5%. They could end up being the worst team in the league. Even though they say they want to win and have Tina Charles, a former MVP and Connecticut legend, this doesn't look like a playoff roster. Maybe they'll be better than Golden State, but that's about it. Are they better than Atlanta? No. LA has Kelsey Plum and better chemistry. Cam Brink and Rickea Jackson are promising rookies. LA is trending up while Connecticut is starting over from scratch. What about Washington? Maybe they're worse if they decide to tank, but they still have Ariel Atkins, Stephanie Dolson, Shakira Austin returning, Aaliyah Edwards, and 2 top 6 picks in this draft. Plus, Brittany Sykes is still solid, so they might still be better than Connecticut. At best, if everything goes perfectly, Marina has the best season of her career, Cloud plays great, their rookie makes an instant impact, DeShields returns to her Chicago form, and Tina Charles is somehow still productive. They're probably the 9th seed. And even then, they miss the playoffs and hurt their 2027 draft chances. Remember, they'll be competing with Golden State, Toronto, and Portland for those lottery odds, and Portland, as an expansion team, will almost definitely struggle in their first year. If Connecticut trades Natasha Cloud, it would give J.C. Sheldon, their top 6 pick from the 2024 draft, a chance to start at shooting guard. Lindsay Allen could start at point guard, She's a solid, steady presence for a rebuilding team. Yvonne Anderson could come off the bench as a reliable veteran backup. Leia Leonce, who's only 20, should also get more minutes off the bench so the team can help her grow. Olivia Nelson-Ododa is another player they should give a real chance to, and whoever they pick in this year's draft, whether it's Anna, Maria Philip, Shai Sears, Aisha Sifka, or Jana Barker, they should get minutes to play through their mistakes. The team might struggle, it might get ugly at times, but that's okay. Their focus should be on development and building for the future, not on trying to win now. We'll see what happens. Maybe the pressure from Marina Mabrey's camp forces the team to finally make a trade. Even if they only move Mabrey and decide to keep Cloud, that would be something. At least get value for one of them. Then you could use a core designation on the other player next offseason and trade them for more assets. That's a much better plan than keeping both now, losing one for nothing later, and maybe only getting a second-round pick for the other after using a core tag. So that wraps it up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you agree with? What do you think I got wrong about Connecticut's direction? They're a confusing team, but there are some young players worth investing in. We'll see how things go. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment to help with the YouTube algorithm. I've got more WNBA draft content coming soon, plus college hoops. I'll be at the SEC tournament in about a month. Then we've got March Madness and the WNBA draft right after that. The W season's not far away either, so stay tuned. Hope you have a great day. Take care.